Hey guys, we're Team Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Coggins, and we're at the final stretch of Star Trek Discovery, and there's a finality to this final, potentially.
Right. Starfleet has a plan. As you know, Starfleet is a third of the fleet is decimated. 20% of Federation space is occupied by rival Klingon houses. Basically, 24 enemies, as Sarek said. They're not just fighting a unified Klingon force; they're fighting 24 houses. So, Federation's suffering, but we have a plan.
Is it a cunning plan?
It is cunning. I would use the word cunning, considering who came up with it and who's involved.
And did the plan go to Cunning University and get a cunning diploma and go and do a doctorate in cunning? And is that cunning a plan as to only be able to be that cunning?
No. I think it's a stupid plan, personally. But desperate times call for desperate measures, as they say. Your logic, you need to be illogical sometimes to actually solve a problem. Is it a good plan?
Well, what is the plan, Stuart? This is the full spoilers, obviously.
True.
We're seeing the resolution pretty soon. So what is the plan?
In a nutshell, Empress... I was going to say Sato. Empress Philippia Giorgio reinstated herself as captain-ish. Admiral Cornwall announced that they had rescued the dead Captain Giorgio. She was actually on a prison ship. They had a daring rescue attempt, saved her, brought her back. Now she is taking Discovery and the rest of the fleet to Kronos. Discovery is spore jumping into one of the many caverns and underground cave systems on Kronos because you can't scan from orbit.
Well, no, you can't.
Atmosphere.
Well, no, you can't scan from far away, and they can't get close enough to get good readings of being detected.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're sporing into the planet, and then they're going to get readings of all the surface details, find out where all the military installations are, where they need to attack, hit the heart of the Klingons, hit them where it hurts, and have them all start coming back to Kronos to kind of fix the problem and withdraw from Federation space instead of always pushing back and, rallying around Earth to save it, because Federation tactics haven't worked to this point. So in a nutshell, that's the plan. It's kind of a dumb plan. Actually, it's an interesting plan overall.
Yes.
It's the implementation of the Emperor as Captain Giorgio, which is the stupid part, in my opinion.
And why is that the stupid part in your opinion?
Because, I don't like her, first of all. Second of all...
Wait, you don't like the actress, the Emperor, or the character of Giorgio?
I don't like Giorgio, the captain, or the actress, but I do like the Emperor, which is odd. To put the Emperor in a position where she's captain, with very few top-level brass knowing only a few of them knowing that plan, could prove bad. I mean, she's positioning herself again to be in a position where she can start to kind of rebuild her empire if she wants to in this prime universe. It may take a long time, and it's interesting to me that she's a captain, yet Burnham, who was actually a commander in Starfleet and actually served in Starfleet, who got court-martialed, now cannot carry a rank. So somebody from a different universe that was Empress can be captain, but Burnham, who was actually in Starfleet and a commander, can never have a rank again because she was court-martialed. It's an odd choice.
Well, that's a nonsensical statement. No, they're just telling everyone that Giorgio's alive. So she's not actually a captain. They're just saying, "Hey, Giorgio's alive."
But she is a captain. She's wearing the captain's badge.
So
they
what?
Basically made her a captain.
Well, yeah, but it's the same as saying, right, you're temporarily in command of this thing. You're an ensign, but now you're a captain because we're saying you're a captain. I mean, just filling the shoes. They weren't going to promote Burnham. Burnham's actually in the chain of command. Actually got repercussions. Giorgio's an emperor from the mirror universe who's playing herself in this universe to means to an end. There's no. They made her a captain.
How many people know that she's the Empress from the other universe? A lot of people will assume that she's actually a captain, Giorgio. If certain people,
what do you mean a captain? She's just Giorgio. There's no a captain. She's just the character of Giorgio, who was a captain when she was captured, and is now back. She's just back as the person she was. There's no like. It's like Burnham was in the universe. Hey, Burnham's back. Cool. You're captain again because you were never captain. You're back.
I know that, but I'm still saying she still has that rank of captain as far as the rest of the fleet knows.
Yeah, because Giorgio's back. It's just the character of Giorgio's back.
It's a dumb plan. Just say, here's the Empress from the Mirror Universe, who was the leader of it.
But then you're reading the Mirror Universe, and they can't do that.
But they can. He's going to help us defeat the Klingons. It's...
Oh, I totally bought what they said though. If they tell everyone all of your loved ones are like, well, evil but alive in the universe.
The classified information. I get that.
But just saying there's a mirror universe.
Just use your behind the scenes then as tactical advice. What do you want us to do? How are we going to strike the Klingons? You don't have to put her up front and in everybody's face and leading things.
Well, I think it's one of those things though. Which captain would you have lead the mission? We haven't been introduced to anybody new. Cornwall was not
a captain. I'd have the admirals.
But she wasn't a good admiral. She wasn't a good in command admiral. You want the Andorian guy because he's had no characterization. You know, the admiral, you need that person behind the scenes to be the one that Burnham can yell at in the next episode. You wouldn't let Burnham or Saru be in charge. Saru would be okay, but he wouldn't be very good. And he's a fraidy cat, not in a bad way. Just he's not the best guy to go attack the homeworld of the Klingons and do a mission that's ridiculously risky. So you need Giorgio took over, or Giorgio kept an empire together, did a lot of really good bad things. So if you want a strong leader with good captaining skills, she's absolutely the best one for the job. I mean,
it doesn't translate. How was she keeping power in that universe? She was killing people that opposed her.
Which is the plan, to go kill Klingons.
Yes, but
there's nothing else to the plan.
Keep the Federation together and keep them unified in an attack.
Yeah, but she'll be undone. Yeah, but that's her fleets, though. I mean, she's used to controlling a fleet.
By fear, if you don't do it, I'm going to absolutely kill you.
But this is one mission in a day. There's no other... There's this mission, then the Admiral says, okay, thanks, Giorgio, you helped us out. We'll get you back home. Obviously, she'll double-cross and blah, blah, blah. But that's the plan. Mm-hmm. It's like, do this, we'll get you home, and then she plays the part, simmers down her meanness as far as she can. She uses her command experience, which is probably the most in the fleet at this point.
Does she want to go back? Because she was ousted as emperor. She's going to have very little followers because they're all dead. Lorca killed most of them. Does she really want to go back, or does she want to...
killed the flagship. Everyone else in the galaxy is still loyal to her, and they've no reason to think that she was like all they know in that universe is that the Empress flagship was blown up. That's the end of the information.
Even as she said in that episode, though, they've seen my neck. They know that I'm weak. I'm going to stay here to die.
On that ship. Just on that ship.
I know, but it's...
Not
she could have escaped that ship.
I know, but we needed her to be in our universe for this plot point to happen. Remember, because this isn't necessarily because it had to make sense. It's because it had to get to B, C, and D. Which is unfortunate writing when it's like, well, obviously it's just to get it here. Which is a great plot point, but she didn't need to say the stuff she said in the last episode. That didn't work particularly well. But yeah.
So is it a good plan? I guess attacking the she said she compared them to cancer cells. Klingons are like cancer. They just keep reproducing and spreading. You got to strike at the tumor, the heart of the problem to fix it. And so is it a good plan to strike Kronos? Probably. Because as we know, the 24 houses are out cutting up Federation space. So who knows? There's no unified Klingon defense force to protect the planet.
Apparently.
It's all different houses that
No High Council, the Chancellor, apparently?
I don't know, I guess. But there's nobody really... They're all bickering amongst themselves, so it's easy to kind of get in there and get a wedge in and take out the key installations that can protect the planet and just start murdering Klingons, I guess.
Yeah, because
they've done it to the Federation, so it's okay.
Yeah, and you can't like say evacuate all your defenses. You got 5 minutes to evacuate. They will blow them all up. Yeah, obviously it's just mass murder on a mass murder scale. I mean, you're going to kill millions. But I mean, the Dominion, well, okay, they're baddies, but I mean, we've seen orbital bombardments many a time. What's interesting though is this is and Burnham specifically said, I start this war, I have to finish it. And the one bit of advice Sarek gave her at the very start was fire on them. That sends a signal. That's how we did first contact. She didn't. They didn't. I know they didn't, and they looked weak and they got blown up. So this is going back. She's learned a lesson of, we must have war to have peace. I mean, to be fair, maybe this whole situation is grooming her into a Section 31 agent. When you learn that lesson, you're a perfect agent in the future. Maybe that's season 2. Discovery gets co-opted by Section 31 specifically, and that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so she's again, it parallels back to that. The plan is now to go do because they're coming to Earth. They said that they're flying to Earth right now. So that's the devastating last strike. If we do the devastating last strike first, then that sends a signal to them that we got there, we did it, we have more, and the fact that we got the Discovery there, whatever. And obviously, once you've finished the discovering what's around, it can be offensive as well. I mean, it's still a reasonably powerful ship. So she's doing the plan that Sarek said originally, and that, I mean, we don't necessarily understand Klingons per se, but if their homeworld got attacked, would you not be more pissed off than be destroyed?
Yeah, it'd be like attacking a hive of bees. You're just going to swarm them up. They're just going to be annoying and come after you. And it really doesn't make sense when you think about it, because as you saw with the Federation map, it's all Klingon occupied territory pretty much, pushing back towards Earth. If they're on their way to Earth now, we happen to strike Kronos while all their ships are at Earth. They're going to be like, bump, 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 bump. Now you have no homeworld left because you didn't protect it. And now you're flying around our homeworld. Yeah, sure, you've caused some damage, but we still have all of our fleets and all of our occupied starbases and all of our occupied colonies and planets that we took over from you in your space. Come at me, bro. It just doesn't really make sense plan-wise.
That's really interesting, actually. Yeah, if they have nothing to lose, why wouldn't they keep going to Earth? And with no ships there to defend it, and the Klingons aren't going to stop at just destroying military targets. One thing I wanted to jump in on is that we know that, and they do attack Earth, they bring an attack Earth, and it doesn't cripple Earth in any way. It just damages Earth, Utopia Phoenicia is our big fleet yards. We've got other ones. So Kronos, I don't think is their main, it might be their primary shipyard, but I really doubt that. That's not how empires work. Their homeworld doesn't have their biggest stuff, has most advanced stuff, not the biggest stuff. So yes, you might cripple the planetary defenses and the orbital turrets and some ground shipyards that are building stuff, but guess what? We've still got the 7 planets of shipyards. They're still building ships that are totally unaffected, and yes, maybe they lost some of their... Well, does the palace or council chamber count as a military target? Are they going to blow up the people that run the empire? Is that not just butchery? I mean, what counts as military if a planet is military?
See, the thing is, if it was a unified Klingon front, if it was the KDF, the Klingon Defense Force, their job would be to protect the hierarchy, the chancellor, the main power. So they would be called back to, yes, protect this asset. But that's not the case here. You have individual houses. Like we said, we're not even sure there is a High Council. There was in Archer's time, but the destabilization
100 years
happened since then. So, attacking the planet, I don't think necessarily is going to rally everybody to come back to the planet, because a lot of the houses will be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got this bigger planet and a bunch of colonies now.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, yes, I'm sure at least half will say, this is my chance to vie for power and take over the Empire. And the weaker ones will say, nah.
We're happy in Federation space.
Yeah, Starbase 1 is pretty awesome. It's paradise off Pluto. And there's been that big controversy of it being so close to Earth, it's ridiculous. Because how do they use, and I don't want to get into that, because obviously they made a mistake there, so I'm not even going to bother addressing it. Just whatever, moving on. But yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, obviously, if they were moving to attack rather than at warp, then they would go back. It depends where they are in the chart. If they're halfway, they'll probably go back, because they can catch the Federation fleet, They'll think we'll go back and catch them. And that's another thing, we mentioned this in our review. So you've got Federation ships, which are all defending borders, poorly, very, very poorly, because they can't take close ships, and Earth. And they're rallying Earth, say, a few of them. Well, as ships across the quadrant, how do you all converge on Kronos? I mean, you're going to be... even if you then spent the time to meet up, you're doubling the time to get there. And Kronos is not close, and the distance is not close, except in JJ-verse, where they're very, 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 very close. So, I mean, they're going to be flying through Klingon space and Federation space.
They're going to be flying through occupied Federation space and Klingon space. Yeah, exactly.
And random houses doing random things, and you don't know where any Klingon cloaked ships are, traps and whatever. I mean, you might lose half the ships just getting to Kronos, and that will feel like such a waste, because we haven't got that many. We've got enough ships, but to lose a third already is pretty... I mean, in destroying 3 star bases, it destroyed a third of the fleet. I mean, that was a tremendous move by the Klingons. I mean, that's a crushing blow almost. I mean, then they were already winning with numbers and power. You kill a third of your fleet. I mean, they've lost every advantage you could possibly have. This is why, the Constitution class is really the strongest ships at the time. They're meant to be toe-to-toe with anything. Which, what are they doing in this period?
Well, and it even goes back to the Klingon sense of honor, or lack thereof, with these Klingons. If they were honorable Klingons, they would go back and defend their homeworld. That's their homeworld. They have a special honorable attachment to that.
Although, how many of the 24 houses are from that world specifically? I mean, obviously they all originated there, but 24 houses aren't all going to have their base on Kronos. The point, the 24 surely means they spread out. It's the Klingon Empire. And so how many are even going to care, Kronos? I mean, that's not my homeworld. We don't have a government there. Who the hell cares, Maybe 18, 16, 13 will be like, my homeworld. You know what I mean? Because it'd be weird if if 24 houses are bickering and fighting, it doesn't seem stable enough to have a planet where they all meet up. It's not a very good plot anyway. Even the Xindi, they sort of bickered and they had problems, but they all had a place they met up and they were allies and, focal point and stuff. And we haven't even seen any of the inner struggle. I mean, they're saying 12 houses, all the houses fought, but we haven't even seen that fighting. What does fighting mean? Are they doing military conflicts? Are they just bickering? Are they trying to take power? Who's currently in power? Is there power? Are they just Kazon? Different people, different space. What does that mean, bickering? I mean, they haven't defined. We knew it were an enterprise. They're Klingons. We know they're on TOS. They're just the Klingons. They're just a race of people that have an empire. They have government and they chat about things. And obviously, TNG and DSI, we understood exactly. We've been on Kronos. Picard was the first guy on Kronos for a long time. What does this mean? They haven't thought it through, and they haven't developed it, and they haven't. Like, if I was doing a Discovery Bible, I would say, right, this is how the Klingons are. This is what their government looks like. This is their political structure. This is what the 12 4 houses are. This is what they all have. If you're really developing, you develop it. Because guess what? You might need to refer back to that at any point. But again, poor writing is poor writing is poor writing. So.
Yeah, I think their canon guy, their
on
staff canon guy's fallen asleep. I
remember only hired after episode 5 it was. So that's when all the stuff was set up already. Everything was already developed at that point and already set in stone and filmed and stuff. Great. Because literally, the Klingons didn't even appear after episode 7, pretty much. So, it didn't even make any difference. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it's a risky as hell plan, and it could pay off. But, I mean, just the image of 100 Federation ships, 200 Federation ships, somehow around Kronos, getting there just fine, bombing it with torpedoes, is a horrifying thought, honestly. I mean, Jean, god damn it, Jean would be like, I didn't ever want this to happen. We aren't the Nazis. We aren't the guys that, launched the nuke and stopped World War. Because, it's like the Manhattan Project. It's like launching it on Berlin or the main place of Germany. It's like sending it there rather than less habited place, or here, rather Hiroshima would be somewhere more important, quote unquote. Eek.
Yeah. Well, it does kind of have World War II analogies with us moving into Berlin at the last and just taking their space away from them. But we had pushed them back to Berlin. We didn't just sneak into Berlin, and So I don't know. It is a risky plan. I think it's illogical that Sarek agreed to do it. I know desperate times call for desperate measures and all that jazz, but the plan overall isn't super bad. It's just putting her front and center as, oh, look who we found. That's just dumb. I'm sorry, that's just dumb.
Well, it is. I think at this point, and they didn't really give us quite the tone they were aiming for. Is the all or nothing plan. But they weren't quite desperate feeling enough. They had enough control. I mean, the fact that everyone lost control for a second was good.
They were desperate. You could tell because they were all walking around with their shirts unzipped.
True.
That's pretty desperate.
I think the amount of talky scenes about the characters took away from that talky scenes could have been about the situation. They weren't quite there. Because, I mean, the Federation is so vast. Like, even Vulcans have dozens of planets, surely. That they've got, it's trillions and trillions of people. So saying we lost 3 star bases, We lost these 4 outposts. That's like that map. That's not a big thing. It's sad, but it's not a big thing. You know what I mean?
20% of their space. There's still 80% of it left.
And guess what? Space is vast. That could be the really not habited space. It's the outer 20%. It'll have less people. It's not. You know what I mean? It's like when you get into the inner rim, that's packed. Well, it's not that packed, but you know what I mean? They're all the protectorates and stuff. So they didn't quite give us the desperation vibe that I think they were going for. Like Equinox. I mean, you felt that crew's desperation. You felt that crew's. This is it. That's it. You know, you didn't get that with them, and so I think if they had, then, I mean, again, does logic dictate let's wait and get killed? No, we can't. Logic dictates we can't negotiate. We can't beat them militarily. Then this is the only plan, and yes, we're risking everything on this Emperor who's going to betray us. Although they don't know that yet because they don't know how bad mirrors are. They haven't met anyone from the universe except her. So, it's an all or nothing. If it fails, it fails. But they're going to die anyway. So you know, might as well risk every chip on. You know, I mean, they got Discovery back. That was a huge deal. They got the super weapon back. That was a hell of a thing back in their lap. You know, and they're probably looking at plans every day and thinking, we've got no plans. I mean, it's like the plan in episode 7. We're just going to keep on driving this way.
Yeah. If only we could detect cloaked ships. Oh. But Discovery got destroyed.
If only they didn't have cloaks because of cannon. Oh no.
Yeah.
And what are the Romulans doing during this 9-month period? Because they were referencing that.
Oh, you know they're sitting on their lawn chairs with their beer hats going, yeah, you do that. You guys, once you take over the Federation, you ain't even unified. We're going to move in and kick all your asses. Yeah.
Glad you like the cloaking device. Tip hat.
Ours is better.
Yeah, the cloak ship just is literally just outside Kronos just watching. It's like, ours is still better.
Anyway, guys, what do you think about this plan that Giorgio had that they implemented? What do you think? What would be a better plan? Is this a good plan? Would you feel good being part of this plan? Let us know in the comments below. As always, if you like the video, please like. I'm sorry it was a little all over the place, a little incoherent at times maybe. I'm sick, just so you guys know. I'm not feeling
I'm
the
just
best.
me, so that says it all.
That's right. So like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, visit our Facebook page, and join the conversations there. Lots of great ship discussions and stuff. It's a really fun community and good thing to be a part of. So go check it out.
And of course, if you want to support this show and help us keep going for longer, and you know, into our 7th season, 7th year, whatever, then support us on Patreon, the monthly donation service. It's kind of like Netflix or Hulu, but just for YouTubers, and it's so important to what we do here. Or a one-time donation and a thank you at trekyards.com. Click the donate button and give a little bit. Every little bit makes a difference, and if a big bit you want to give, you can even commission an episode if you want to get something directly for your donation. We're happy to do lots of things on the show.
Absolutely. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Kungs.
And hopefully the Federation will still be around next week for us to come and talk to you again. Bye.